Well then.
Mister.
I'm so sorry, Maria, but I am going out to the Spire of Blind Faith today. And in order to do this, I actually have to get it marked on my map by buying the info from the informant, Phantom Avian of the Spire.
Want in on this?
Yes, I do indeed want in on this. Yeah, there's a reason why nobody goes that far. Yeah, to avoid the currents, we have to go through there, which is a village, and through 2 campsites, and then to the tower. It's the second tower that we've seen so far.
And right there's a labyrinth.
And it's a labyrinth, and also it's heat. It will always have heat weather, which is why I put this off until unlocking a Denny's weather clearing. So a large bird with vivid plumage. The closer you get, the more violent it becomes. So this is an enemy that punishes you for being in the front row.
You don't say.
And it punishes you quite badly, so this is why it pays to listen to informants. Vulnerable to fire and pierce attacks. Well, that actually sounds like Yufa's gonna be really great here now that I have her and she can just throw dragon gods at it. Also, we now get village trading Virga Islands.
Cheers.
Because we've unlocked the nearby village of Silento. Uncle Electro's Wonder Salts, that sounds amazing. And also Niflheim Plunge, that also sounds like extremely cold. And they sell Heroes Jeweled Roots. Yeah, well, I mean, no wonder you can't tell us what the point of that is. Only people who have archetypes can do that. I mean, technically everyone can have the power of archetypes if they want to, so maybe you will one day. Unlock the Informant archetype. So, fast travel back to the Dragon Statue Plaza, and I should have the required dish in order to change the weather.
The weather.
Yes, it is. I believe I do have one of those.
Thanks.
I like how he's pretty much using this payment as an excuse to be able to taste Yufa's cooking. I'm sure that you and Will be spending a lot of time together in the future. For ship reasons. And there goes the weather for 3 days, which is only an achievable time frame to get there if you don't make a stopover at the...
Everyone is here.
I've already forgotten the name of the area that has the Morning Snakes in it. It's the Save the Morning Snakes quest. It's, the All-Wise Path, that's it. And yeah, so a lot of guides do pique curiosity and save the Morning Snakes at the same time, but thanks to the comments, I know that it will take 3 days to get here if we do this.
It's your call.
The total number of days it takes to do both dungeons is 4 days regardless, but if you split them like this, then you are able to clear the weather in the Spire of Blind Faith. Plus, I wanted to show starting Yufa's bond earlier. Speaking of bonds, though, I've recently realized something a little annoying, and that is that if I had not done Maria then, and had instead done Alonso's rank 6, I could have got Alonso's rank 7 and therefore unlocked utilitarian manuals before the next major story boss fight. Thing is though, I do have access to the better cooking with Maria now, and that might be the main thing that I need. So yeah, oh, I can make amber stew now, okay. Or another finisher noodles. Yeah, I'll get amber stew because I've already made finisher noodles. So, I could use up all my brocaded koi. It does take 2 Queen's honey jars, though, and I need those for later. But, I may as well get... Oh, no, of course I am getting 3 of these. Because, they're the charge item. Well, we already have a good variety of the world's cuisines, thanks to every party member offering up some more dishes. That is one really cool thing. I do think it really aids in sort of the diversity themes of this game, the fact that every party member comes from a different tribe, and that also includes Neuras, though sadly Neuras doesn't actually provide any recipes, unless some of the starting recipes in the runner were from him. He doesn't help make any of them, so I actually doubt it. Yufa has this nice green theme to her overall color scheme. Yeah, I do like how he just always repeats the incantation. I'm sorry, in my headcanon, Will is just totally crushing on her at this point.
What this is?
Oh yes, indeed, you do feel the power welling up inside you. The power to actually finally beat the final boss. So in terms of what we can do on the runner, tonight on the runner I want to rank up Neuras, but in the daytime we could fish, or we could reread Top Secret Poetry, because I do need rank 4 Courage to start Brigida's next rank. Okay, I do have highest man unit in the party, just in case any Elementals attack. That is great. Because I think I'm actually going to use the cleaning tool here and reload until I get tail bait.
Got it.
Okay, right, that either is rarer, or I was just getting really unlucky, because that took a lot of attempts. But yeah, max HP plus 5 as well. Now, Orbwise Path is coming into view. If you say let's keep going, this trip will take only 3 days.
Silento, a settlement known for its marine trade, thanks to the bounties of the sea. The bay's most prominent feature, though, is a sinkhole of unfathomable depth. Some believe to gaze into its abyss is to be spirited away. The Gauntlet Runner glides into the inlet as seabirds overhead cry out songs of victory at their catches.
Songs of victory that go, mine, 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 mine. Anyway, Basilio may not have been wrong about the portal to hell in the ocean if there's an abyss that's, like, spirits people away. So yeah, welcome to Silento. This place looks really nice. It reminds me a little bit of Pacific Log Town in Hoenn. They're probably both based off of similar kinds of island communities.
What?
Oh boy, everyone's like, oh, Judas swimsuit fan service, let's go!
Honestly.
Okay, so let's see what we can get. Now, the main thing that I find notable is that you can buy limp goldfish here, which saves you having to fish for them. This is probably overkill, but I'm gonna take 25. They also sell 2... Yeah, I want to buy out their entire stock of heroes items. Yeah, I think I'm gonna goldfish.
All right.
But I like to always talk to the people here. These conversations are pretty easy to miss.
Right.
You don't have much to offer, but you're offering archetype experience items? That's actually better than many other places here.
No.
Well, I mean, the good news is that hopefully Forden won't be winning if we have anything to say about it. Oh, a submarine gauntlet runner would be pretty cool, but that reminds me of like, isn't there like a really like a deep sea dungeon in Pokemon, the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon that like is like 99 floors, and I think it has Kyogre? No, the Kyogre one's shorter than that. I know there's like a really, really deep underwater dungeon in one of the
All right.
Mystery Dungeon games. So yeah, let's continue the trip.
As the sun sets over the sea's horizon and the birds rest their wings, the Gauntlet Runner settles into a reef, waves lapping softly at its hull. The Gauntlet Runner anchors itself at the reef to stave off danger. Within its walls, the party sleeps peacefully.
Because we killed the Kraken, I can't make any more jokes about it. We must have hit a reef! I don't know why, but like that line from Pirates of the Caribbean always sticks with me. Once again, Yufa is maintaining her helmet. So, Lumabee, and yeah, reportable quest. Also, we have a memorandum entry on Silento, a fishing village located within the Virga archipelago, which surrounds a large marine cavern. The waves are calm year-round, allowing the islanders to build their homes atop the water. The sinkhole, said to be caused by something plummeting from the sky into the sea, boasts unfathomable depths, and its surrounding waters, it is possible to catch great harvests of fish not available in other waters. The legendary All Blue. All Sarge needed to do was to go to another universe and he would have found it. However, it is said that those who appeared into the Great Cavern's abyss are taken away to another world, and many of those who have challenged its depths never return. It really is a portal to the One Piece world. Anyway, so yeah, Yufa's still not available for travel activities. Presumably because you can do all of this stuff, like, while you don't have her in the party yet.
Let's go.
But I will be taking this nighttime to rank up Neuros. I'm so glad that I don't have to check whether I have a matching persona. I do feel like Neuros would probably be of the Hermit Arcana. That's one where the Arcana mask required to make its masked dancer item kind of makes sense. Some of them I don't think make that much sense. I mean, Devil for Summoner makes sense with the Devil Summoner archetype, but, like, I don't think Yufa is Devil Arcana. She's probably, like, it's hard to tell who is, like, the different, like, Arcanas of the girls in the party, because I feel like Yufa is probably Priestess, so, and Hulkenberg is definitely more likely to be Empress than Juna is. Though honestly, Juna could be Empress. Whichever one is not. Actually, no. Stroll's probably Chariot. Gallica would be Magician, I think. Yeah, should probably save it for a dungeon, like what Persona Arcanas I think all of the party members would be. But Neuros is almost certainly Hermit.
My God, I've got it!
By my sainted aunt. I remember watching a lot of, like, British movies back in the day where characters will often say, "Oh, my giddy aunt." Yeah, why do I sense there's something on your mind? Huh.
That's...
Yeah, it is interesting, even, like, thinking even when you're happy of just being like, you know what, this might not last and I'll be depressed again soon. I've certainly been there. Oh yeah, that sounds rough if you needed healing from that crash. Oh, well, that also sucks. I mean, okay, that second part's more important, but that first half, that was me back in, like elementary school. Often people who can be considered my friends would just abandon me pretty quickly.
All right. It'll be fine.
Yes. Oh, come on.
Thanks.
You wouldn't think Neuros would be the kind of person who'd be concerned with strength, but yeah. Huh. I mean, it's never too late. You've met us now. Yeah, exactly.
For the blessings of youth.
Even older people can have a second lease on life. Okay, that's gonna be even more useful against Elementers. Yeah, I kind of dissed Neuros's bond bonuses earlier in this playthrough, and I'm just like, actually, they're not as bad as I thought. I still think it's one of the weaker bonds mechanically, but like, it's not terrible. But yeah, what I was saying about the, about, like, you know, you're never too old to have a new lease on life. I mean, my grandmother actually passed her, like, school, like, got the actual certificate you get in Australia for passing the high school exams, kind of the equivalent of the SATs in America. My grandma passed that when she was in her 50s. And my dad didn't get his driver's license until he was in his 50s. That's something that's more made easier by not living in America, where driving's pretty much a necessity because public transport's terrible and no cities are walkable. Anyway, time isn't marching on, which means we've been ambushed, right. But that means we get to test out Neuros' new cannons. Ah, yes, I can skip these from now on. Oh, it's a Lich, okay. Or in this case, the early giant cannon in your face. Yeah, basically they lose a third of their health now. Oh, it boings wind. Is this the one that boings physical? I don't think it is. Yeah, this is the summoning one. I think physical does still work on it. But I know that this is weak to winds. Aha, okay. Now, I haven't got an Unscathed Triumph, but I'm gonna debt collect you anyway. So yeah, the thing that I actually forgot last time about debt collection is that it scales based off of your archetype level, so that's probably why it's so cheap to inherit. If you inherit it onto an archetype that is of a low level, because Merchant always gets it at rank 20, so if you're using it on Merchant itself, unless you inherit it onto the upgraded form of Merchant that we'll be getting later, but if you're using it on Merchant itself, you'll always have the maximum mag payout from it, because it's rank 20. But if you inherit it onto another archetype, yeah, it's based on that archetype's level. And now, thanks to me buying a whole bunch of goldfish, I can actually make the holistic whitefish platter. Fully restore the people, all allies, but it does cost a gauntlet shroom, so I'm only going to make one.
Let's check.
I need to set, because gauntlet shrooms are a requirement for the ultimate recipe in the game. Yes, we've had quite a few of those, and some of them give us full MP recovery, so I certainly say that I do like them. This looks more like a snake or an eel than an actual fish dish. Like, these are clearly not limp goldfish, unless by limp they mean they're actually, by goldfish in this world, they mean snakes, and I guess snakes are pretty limp. And done! So the only dish that I haven't made yet, that I have access to right now, requires elderberry flour, which we can't get yet, obviously. Oh, and I guess different party members have different, like, curtains over their bedding area. That's actually really cool. And I've spent the day fishing up 2 Lords of the Lake with one of my tail baits.
At last, the party arrives at Sporico Cave, nestled deep in the forest. Within, vibrant flowers rich with color blossom in full glory. But theories claim the cave itself is a weapon of a bygone era, and the magic of its circuitry infused the ground with magma. As though drawn in by the bewitching light, the gauntlet runner draws near the mouth.
This is one of my favorite landmarks in the game. I think a lot of them are around the Virga Island area. So this area to me just feels very Ghibli. But you've got this combination of, like, normally combining nature with technology looks really creepy. For example, the logo of Mother 3 or the robotic trees in Mega Man X. But when it's this kind of, like, very, you know, magi technology kind of look to it, it does look really nice. It does make me wish that this was a dungeon rather than an actual, just, landmark. Hulkenberg, you're not too hard to read.
Look. Still.
Huh.
Rather.
It's almost as if this entire place is just one big igniter. Because people fear this as maybe being a weapon, but no, I think it's like some kind of an ancient agricultural sector.
Now then.
Perhaps this could revolutionize farming as we know it, and Julian's book will not be needed.
Alright.
More wisdom, which we've got quite a lot of that.
Here.
Maria will certainly like to see this, though.
As the clear surface gives way to the glassy ink of darkness, the gauntlet runner reaches a remote island. The party gets a good night's rest, grateful for the still land that does not sway them at its whims.
Yeah, luckily there's just an island landmass out here. Unfortunately, though, it is hot, which means we can't do any activities up on the deck.
Alright then.
But it will be cool once we get to the dungeon, thanks to a Denny. Memorandum entry, the, Sporico Cave. A cave located in the dense forest of a small island near Virga Island. The interior is covered in plants and large flowers that continue to grow there despite the lack of sunlight due to vestiges of magic. In fact, cutting through the roots reveals magic circuitry in the walls, indicating the remnants of something man-made. There is no record of how such a mechanism was made, nor why it was abandoned, but among the Mustari it is said that nature admonished the faults of man. Making another sweeter than poison, or another 2 thanks to Maria. Important note is that the higher tier of merchant has a passive that boosts the effect of consumables. That also applies to MP items, which makes those really good. I would like more courage, and I think this will give a bigger increase than spending time with Stroll, unfortunately. Come on, courage 4. There's courage 4, so we can rank up Brigida next time we're in town.
Courage.
So now the only thing that we're behind on is eloquence,
Why, that's...
which is kind of what we need to be a good politician, so whoops. And the screen just goes black.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Okay, one more day at sea before we reach the tower. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be spending today fishing too. Oh, I can't because it's hot. And Adeni only cleared the area, around the tower, not around the actual ocean on the way to the tower. But I think what I will do here, this is a completely free action. If I unlock Samurai on Stroll, I should have enough archetypes to complete Moore's request. So, let's go Samurai! I love the animation it does there.
Yeah.
It's not quite your pinnacle, but that's not until the final arc of the game. And yes, that is indeed enough for Moore's next rank. I'll spend my archetype items in the tower, especially since I'll get more out of this rank. Because this is actually rank 7 of Moore, we're almost done. Oh, and for this one, any response is good for either of the questions. 5 heroes jeweled roots and more imagination. I wonder which virtue will max out first. Still more painful memories, I see.
Everything okay?
Do you like the green flame and that little, like, gas burner?
Please.
Yeah, well, we've met our future wife, so that's something.
The truth of the matter is...
Huh. Deliberately place you somewhere you know well, somewhere you could easily continue your research. So he isolated you, but he also wants you to keep researching. Yeah. Even though the king is dead, he's still... his presence is still very felt. He set a lot of things in motion.
This research...
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, all 3 of those give 3 triangles. Yeah. Or were you once one and you're now the other? Are you both?
Truly.
People could be complicated like that. Meanwhile, Gallic is just sitting there.
No.
Oh, that unlocks the 3rd tier of Seeker. Ah. So if I spam a bunch of items onto Yufa, she could actually start on that
A
now.
new power.
May the truth guide us both.
Yes, we now have access to the other unsubtle Atlas reference.
Soul Hacker!
A bit of a missed opportunity by Atlas not giving Soul Hacker revival skills, but anyway, Soul Hacker has balanced stats and now resists dark, but its main gimmick is some very unique wind skills. Its first one, Void Wave, also debuffs the enemy's attack. Seeker's Gale is an all-targeting wind attack that recovers MP for every hit. Now, it itself costs 42 MP, so against single targets, it's not going to make back its cost. But if you use it in a group, it will definitely give itself a discount, or maybe even pay for itself, depending on how many there are. It also gets a full healing skill. Well, the game says it's a full heal, actually it's a 350 power healing attack, but that's usually going to be a full heal. We now have access to Adventurer's Curiosity without needing to use Synthesis. Seeker's Flame gives it more elemental variety than just wind. This one also recovers MP every hit. And you get Heat Riser without needing Synthesis. And its final skill is Emerald Vortex, a very strong wind attack that ignores resistances. For Synthesis, Seeker has finally attained the peak of horsemanship in the Winning Horse skill. Soulblade Rider is a physical almighty attack to all enemies, pretty cheap for how strong it is, and being physical, it can crit, which combos well with Adventurer's Curiosity. You also have Tetra Break, which you now should have access to without Synthesis, so I'm not sure why this is a thing, and Cyclone Slasher for... This is a wind attack that is as powerful as Peerless Stonecleaver. It's the wind counterpart of Meteo 4 and Skyfall Bolt. I've left Trial of the Seeker for last because it's the most interesting. It's an almighty version of the skills that recover MP on hit, but this skill has another effect programmed in. It deals 1.5 times damage to enemies with anxiety. Except enemies never get anxiety in this game, so you'll never see this effect. Still, it's kind of thematic, and I wish this was possible to utilize. Possible for you to utilize, I mean. You'll see later in the game.
Listen here.
Okay, the final task. Yeah, an elite archetype, like the one that we just unlocked.
This one's important.
So yeah, we need to max out any third tier archetype. Which is something that we will be naturally doing over the course of the game.
If all goes according to plan.
I wonder how many people complete this quest by maxing out Dragoon. Seriously, I salute you if you've done that. Dragoon. I'll talk about you eventually. Ash, can I make any new summons or masks? I do want to save a little bit of my vessels though, because when we unlock the next tier of Summoner, let's just say there are some things that I really want to unlock. Oh, we can actually get the Soul Hacker's mask now too. I mean, it's essentially a better version of the Magic Seeker's mask. So if I need any, like, if I need super good wind magic on Juno, that's what this is for. Also, Samurai's mask. And of course, the most important thing, Cat. So we actually can spend time with Yufa now. So I may as well. Yeah, that's just her. That's just teasing her next rank up. Imagination might improve. I don't need any of that, but anything to spend more time with Yufa.
What do you think?
Yeah, here we go. This is I'm Seeing a Whole New World, which is a romantic song by Disney, hint hint. Your ideal self in the future. Did you, by chance, happen to have a blue-haired person by your side? Yeah, I can the floodgates have opened! The shipping has begun and it will never stop.
I too will.
Either of these are fine, but, like, this is actually very interesting. I do like when games acknowledge that, like, things aren't just gonna magically solve, like, themselves after we've, you know, after the story that we see is over. And, you know, as Moore said at the very beginning, this is all the story unfolding before our eyes. Don't forget that.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I tried, like, I kind of learned how to meditate in high school, and, it's very hard to just think about absolutely nothing.
Hey.
Very well.
Oh, a lot of mag out of this one, too. But yeah, this is the first time we're doing meditation with Yufa, so there's a lot more options. Every other successive time we do this, it's not going to be as much. But yeah, that's a lot of imagination. It's starting to look like that might be the first stat we max out, especially given that we get it for free from Moore's Bond. Well, not for free, we have to do his task, but you get the idea.
The Spire of Blind Faith is the decision to pursue such a beast, one of bravery, or something else altogether. The party sets foot in the tower, filled now only with disquieting magma. All prayers long unanswered.
Well, on my first attempt of recording this went really badly, but because there should be no weather here, this should be a lot smoother. Now, almost everything in this tower is, like, everything that has, like, a significant weakness that's not, like, field killable is weak to Pierce, but later on we will need Strike. Unfortunately, this is not a very good dungeon for raising up Seeker on Yufa, because if I'm remembering right, okay, only 2 things, Null or Boing Wind, but they are the 2 strongest enemies in the dungeon, so that might as well mean everything here is immune to wind. But yeah, it turns out that this person is indeed alive. Dropped your monster notebook. Oh no, the monster notebook that's 99% complete because you missed 1 monster in a one-time dungeon! We've all been there, seriously. You are not a JRPG fan if you haven't been there at least once. The Leogron, yes, there's an even stronger Griffon at the top of this tower. And we're gonna have to climb it to retrieve that notebook. So that this NPC doesn't go NPC-itis and die. Of course, you know, when I played this for the first time, I got NPC-itis and died. So, gotta be careful there. And just don't go in the front row, which isn't too hard when you have a party like this. Especially since they make it easier by giving a lot of enemies pierce weaknesses. See? As I keep saying, Gunner is amazing! Okay, so time to distribute my archetype items. So, Heisme. He only needs 2 more ranks in Mage, and that's enough, because that will get him to Magic Knight. But now Knight, I may have to use a Jeweled Root on that, because Heisme actually needs Knight to be maxed out to get Magic Knight.
My power swells forth.
Okay, that's fun. How about a little more?
My edge.
Yeah, the Jeweled Roots kind of have serious diminishing returns. So I think I'll spread them around and give some to Juna's Faker. It's not a massive priority that she maxes out Faker yet, though, because I haven't even unlocked Trickster. Ah, Heisme is close to Ninja, though. So I may as well use some of these items to max out Assassin.
My power swells forth.
Even more dodge tanking on him. And for some favoritism, Hero's Jeweled Root on Yufa. Another Hero's Jeweled Root on Yufa. Hulkenberg, unfortunately, does need to master Wizard eventually, but not yet. I may as well get Stroll a head start into Samurai.
I could get used to this.
I've acquired a new ability.
Okay, that would be good in any other circumstance, but here, I think more just into Heisme's Knight.
I have retained my edge.
Okay, he actually did max that out, which gives him a bit of a fallback endurance in case he ever doesn't dodge something. I guess I'll put this one into Hulkenberg's Wizard. And so with that, Heisme can begin to study Magic Knight for some reason. I mean, Tetrakarn's actually pretty good to have on Heisme. He doesn't need to max this, though. I think he only needs this to go to rank 10. Yeah, Dragoon requires Magic Knight 10. But more notably, let's make him a ninja! Yeah, we're finally really starting to go through our reserves of mag, given that we're starting to unlock 3rd tier archetypes. They're doing those classic ninja hand signs there. Stealthy warrior from behind the scenes, unlike the certain famous ninja who wears orange and is not stealthy at all because he's constantly yelling.
I have retained my edge.
More Leaves of Light, I think I'm going to put them into Heisme's Sniper. Even though he might actually end up using that in this dungeon. So, something very useful to have in this place is Shelter Formation as an easy way to pull everybody back. Although, granted, this is actually more useful in a slower character in this dungeon. Because it means you'll be able to go into the front row, attack with all your party, and then on the last person's turn, they use Shelter to pull everybody back. So, yeah, advantage to being slow with a buff. And I do not want to inherit Debt Collection onto Ninja because it's only rank 1. You know what I just realized? Tetra Break actually useful in this dungeon. But Juna's going back to Summoner because we need fire. And Juna can show off the Soul Hacker mask. Okay, we're going in with a mostly physical party. And may my odds be more in my favor than they were when I tried this the last time, where I had Inclement Weather on, and I had not done the Dragon Temple yet, I didn't have Yufa, and that's the problem, I didn't have Yufa. No, in all seriousness, it's because, like, I was under-leveled and there was weather, and I kind of, like, I got through the dungeon itself, but the boss was just too much without weather, so, yeah. So, we have these things, they are field killable, so, Not that dangerous yet, but things will change. These ones, however... Oh, they are field killable. I'm pretty sure those were not field killable on my original run of this, so I might want to show off what Fireman looks like. Unlocked God Killer again. They don't have a lot of HP, but they are weak to pierce. They look pretty intimidating, though. So yeah, I've inherited Hex Shot onto Heismei's Ninja. But, more importantly, I have Wild Salvo and Will. Don't want to be too cavalier with my MP, because, there's some pretty tough stuff coming up later. I do have Windblade, though. And, of course, Fearless Stone Cleave, which is always good. Still have Kusanagi. It hasn't actually been outclassed yet. Of course, very soon we'll actually be getting, better weapons for pretty much every archetype, but you're only allowed to choose one. Look forward to that next time. So yeah, just a pretty standard circle here. It actually reminds me of like I had a cardboard like wizard's castle when I was a kid, and it was such a fun thing to make with with glue and like parts you cut out. Okay, yeah, I went to yellow, not blue, so we still have to fight these things. But yeah, Kokosados is a normal encounter. They are, in fact, very dangerous. Conceal the Plague Mask off of them, though. So, do not underestimate them. These things wrecked me quite badly in my, my ill-fated attempt at this place. But I guess I can do Flying Guard Thrust. I got Hulkenberg and Paladin now rather than Dark Knight, just because, that one needs to get a little bit more archetype experience. Tower Mask. There is a character that I do think fits the tower very well, but we haven't quite been introduced to them yet.
Right there.
So hello there, Cockatrice 2. Have to remember that I think Will has the sniper weapon that makes your multi-hit attacks always hit the max number of times. Or was that in this dungeon?
What?
I, in fact, think it's actually in this dungeon. So yeah, I'll be getting even better damage with Wild Salvo. I had a feeling that was an Elementor. Which means I'm gonna leave it because I'll extort it for mag at the end of my dungeon run, when I don't need to worry about blowing all my MP. Good on me for remembering that, because I almost didn't.
Well...
So inside this room we have, okay, right, there's some birds, but that Griffon there is particularly dangerous. And this is why, also, yeah, more things. Also got a nice crit on it that knocked it down immediately, but I'm distracted by the sheer number of other birds, and now it went down again. Okay, here we go. I believe, yeah, we've actually already fought these in Yufa's trial, I believe. But yeah, we can see, yeah, Chimera's Wing and Chimera's King Wing. Both of them are the, they also has Deadeye Slash to guarantee, so that, like, dodge tanking won't get you past it. Oh, its rare drop is, a summoner weapon.
Why, hello there.
Okay, got that. I am not sure how good it is. We'll see.
Looks like that's all of them. Great job.
And that is a good segue into the fact that our fantasy creature talk of the day is going to be about Griffons. I've been saving that until now. And Griffons are actually quite interesting because I knew they were from Greek mythology. And my first encounter with them as a kid was that live-action Alice in Wonderland TV, I think it was like a 2-episode telly-movie that had Hagrid's actor as Tweedledum. Or was it Tweedledee? They're pretty much interchangeable. But in that movie, there is, they adapt the part in the book with the Griffin and the Mock Turtle, and I remember the Griffin introducing himself with, "I am a Griffin, part eagle, part lion." And that's how I knew what a Griffin was as a kid. But yeah, they are part eagle and part lion. That there is a cockatrice, not a Griffin. Was that another crystal, or did the crystal somehow just respawn? Oh no, I don't think the crystal was like dead in the first place. Yeah, I can tear through these enemies when I actually have press turn benefits, but without the press turn benefits, it's a lot easier for them to recover from a stun, and when that happens, well, RIP. Speaking of RIP, the moment that Sniper maxes out, I have to stick with Sniper because it's not like I'll be getting a better version of that later in the game. Yeah. Let's just say, though, by the time that we do actually get, like, access to Dragoon, I'm gonna have better options. I'll just say I'm gonna have better options.
I think there's treasure.
Okay, that one's fine.
What an incredible fight.
Perfect specimen.
Tidal Triton. Normal attacks become boinged by the boss of this dungeon, so don't do it, Affinity. Yes, I wasn't just talking crap. The boss does indeed boing wins, so don't use that against the boss, or at least use it for your, like, skills, not for your normal attack. Oh, it's exactly equal to the Lightning Glaive too, so I honestly don't even need to equip that right now. I've got to be very careful though, because eventually up the tower is... Oh, I think I know. I think I am at the thing. Yeah! So, that thing there in the middle, that white skeleton. I'm very scared of it. I want to try and go in here. Be very careful, because that thing has a long-range field attack like that! Okay, okay. I am way more okay with the cockatrice getting me in the field than that guy getting me in the field. So, this, of all the things that could have happened, this is not that bad. Although I'm pretty sure Stroll's weak to that. But Heis may dodge that. And I have anxiety. Let's use a Coney Roost. Oh, it actually does cure poison to the bargain. Nice.
My thanks.
Okay, please have mercy, Mr. Cockatrice. That's fine-ish. That's not so fine, but... yeah! Stroll's taking a bit of a beating there, and he's gonna take even more of a beating because we're gonna be getting a press turn from that. Okay, Hulkenberg is dead. That's also semi-fine. Because, like, it's basically dead, like, very soon. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, okay. It just does that as a warning, and then... Huh. Well, I need to Balm of Life Hulkenberg anyway, just so that we don't get totally ripped. Or reviving Hulkenberg was a terrible idea. Yeah! This dungeon can still destroy you, even if you are prepared for it. Let's try this again, and that wasn't even the enemy I was afraid of.
I see the enemy.
Because, like, here's the thing. I need to make sure that we are squatting this, because I do not want to squad that middle one without preparation. Although this does really show one, as I think I have mentioned this before, but, like, one issue that I have with this battle system is that, like, when you're ambushing, you totally wreck things, but when you get ambushed, you're the one who gets wrecked. I saw some people in the comments, like, talking about how that could just potentially be an indicator of just bad balancing in general, and about how the game is, like, too tilted towards offense. But honestly, I think it's more that just first striking is just too overpowered in general. I feel like that's been the case with a lot of games Atlas have put out lately, especially P3 Reload. Maybe they're trying to appeal to action game fans, but they are really incentivizing going for first strikes in the field, and I think they're doing it a little bit too much. But anyway, this right here, unlike most undead, it actually, yes, it boings light. But strike is good, so martial artist or brawler is what you want here. Or pugilist, because we don't get martial artist until later. And instead of Heisme, I will go Yufa, because light is helpful against the minion this thing summons. Of course, I'm not inheriting light right now, I'm inheriting Tetra Break, because that's particularly helpful in this fight.
Right there.
So! Oh, right, I have melee, field attacks. So, this right here is the Faithlight Magaletto. In my opinion, one of the worst regular enemies in the entire game, if not the absolute worst. Look at its moveset. Hamadine, Mahamadine, Mudodyne and Mamudodyne, Negadola-on, Light Surge, Dark Surge, and Almighty Surge. The Surge skills, by the way, are exclusive to your ultimate archetypes. So, yeah, not only that, but it is, again, it boings light, and it's only weak to strike, and it can summon a minion who will Tetrakarn it, so it will be weak to nothing. So yeah, in general, this thing, very, very scary. It also nulls electricity, but Summon Eagle Lion could do a bit to it. But the rest of us are just gonna focus on punching it in the face. To be honest, like, I really should not be fighting this thing. But, I want to kill it at least once for proof of concept, because I am scared by this thing.
Everyone is Count Summoner.
I kind of wish that I had kept my original footage, because, like, I got incredibly angry in my original run of this dungeon, so, like, I kind of wish I kept that original footage, just to, like, show me dying repeatedly to this. Not, like, the commentary, though. I would have definitely scrapped the commentary, because I was not in a good mood then, but, yeah. I'm gonna actually let this thing, get a turn in, just to show you how horrifying it is. Which may come back to bite me, but you'll see. So Yufa's already in the back row. So let's just go to Hulkenberg and have her use Holy Knight Proclamation, just so yeah. Because it's gonna recover from the stun now, and it generally uses its first turn to summon its minion, who will then proceed to Tetrakarn it, and then it uses Mamurodyne, which barely did anything to me there, but I've seen it do insane damage before.
They're weak to strike attacks. Smash them up.
So this one actually is weak to light, but what I want to do with Yufa is I want to Tetra Break. Oh, that's a cool thing. Characters have unique lines for those skills. That's cool. But yeah, coordination is key. The Faith White is dead. Ding dong, the Psycho's gone. So now we can just focus on pummeling this thing down. Or I'll just hammer on it from a safe distance. Emphasis on safe distance. This one nulls ice and, I should probably just use Gargoyle. Nulls ice and electricity. And there we go. Okay, that attack's basically, Juna's Master Antifier skill. So, take my word for it, if you let that thing Mega Dola on you, especially repeatedly, you are going to die horribly. Ooh, that's actually really nice to have just before the boss. Because the boss is weak to that, and it also debuffs defense. For now, though, I'm actually going to keep these two in those classes. Why is that? Oh, well, you'll see. Also Gold Beetle. Because the next floor is the trap floor of this dungeon. It lulls you into a false sense of security, and then uses that false sense of security to destroy you. Because look at all these enemies. So these are all field killable. Like, they will certainly be field killable no matter what level you are when you go here, unless you're, like, doing a level 1 run. I still need to watch that video, but, okay, so. For this, I guess I could go to Merchant to make some money.
I see the enemy.
Just be careful though, just because these are field killable doesn't mean they're not a threat to you. They can actually rack up some damage if you let them. Especially since there's so many of them, and they do like to lunge at you from a far distance. Those shields do look pretty cool, almost makes me think of like, you could paint a Warhammer army like this, honestly. Not even just an undead army, maybe a Bretonnian army. Speaking of Bretonians, it's actually the Empire in Warhammer that has Griffons, not Bretonians, but yeah. I need to continue my Griffon tangent, but now's not exactly the time. I'll have plenty of time against the boss at this place. The main thing that surprised me is that, Griffon lore is actually quite old. It's not just ancient Greek, it actually dates back to Mesopotamian and ancient Iranian mythology. You can actually see Griffon reliefs in a lot of world cultures, and a lot of people theorize the reason for this is that Griffons kind of represents a sort of hypothetical symbol of ultimate power, because it combines the apex predator of the land with the apex predator of the air. And speaking of surprises, here's the trap! In the midst of all these other enemies is a Faith White. If you don't see that until it's too late, and you probably won't, you will horribly, horribly die.
You gotta aim better than that.
Oh. Oh, right! It's one of those things that also gets, yeah, I actually might be, you know, the whole said horribly, horribly dead thing. Yeah, they can fully heal it too. Yeah, take this as a demonstration for why this thing is horrifying. That's better than Megadolon at least. Okay, yeah. in a way, it having minions is working in our favor because they're taking up its turns that it could be spending Mega Dollar owning us. Okay, both of us are in the back room. So, I think it's probably more in my interest to, like, use a revival now and then attempt to run with the next character.
Just the thing.
Except I actually have to pass
Please go right
so that you get out of the front row, and then I'll attempt to run. Thank you for the retreat working. Like, to be honest, it's not even really worth fighting them. Like, just don't. Like, it's not worth it. We do have a field Imatech, though. Or you could squad battle this thing for hi there, Faith White. You could squad battle it for, like, stealing, you know, holy water from it. I don't think I really need that right now. And then you are a fine chest, so yeah. Go live your, undead life in peace. And there it is, Nasu's longbow. The longbow of the person who writes very weird sex scenes with fish metaphors. No, that's a Fate thing, by the way. I've never even really read any of Fate. But the most important aspect of this is that it ensures that multi-hit skills will always hit the max number of times, which can be nice for Sniper.
Hey.
Feels like I've been climbing for days. Well, you're feeling deja vu because I have done this dungeon before, but okay then. So, this boss is weak to Pierce and Fire, but it also is one of those that will go berserk if you're in the front row. So, Stroll is getting out of Pugilist and back into Samurai. And on Samurai, he is inheriting Power Thrust, which is an HP cost skill, but it doesn't scale off your HP. I still want Hulkenberg, and then I want either Junior or Heismay. Okay, actually having that wind resistance from the Soul Hacker's mask is good. And actually, Stroll shouldn't be in Samurai anyway, because that's weak to wind. Although Gunner only has 2 inheritance slots, so I'll go Commander. Which also saves a slot for inheriting Shelter Formation. That is going to be pretty good. So here we go, it is time for us to fight the Big Griffon, the one that walled me but when I did this dungeon before the Dragon Temple. But now that I've done it, you'll see that I'm doing pretty well. Do you like the feathers on this thing, or the plumage, I suppose? The monstrous blue bird. Apparently what people think of Jewel in Rio these days. Apparently, like, a giant reevaluation of that movie happened where people actually think that, like, that her relationship with Blue is terrible, and, like, people have completely turned their backs on that shit. But anyway. So yeah, weak to Pierce and Fire, reflects wind, and don't be in the front row or it will completely destroy you. That's why you want a lot of gunners. So let's go Wild Salvo on its face. Yeah, it has a lot of health and it has a decent amount of endurance. It also often dodges, so you want to plan your turn around the fact that you might miss at least a few times. So, if I formation a Vigor, do I have enough press turns to later on do Shelter Formation? You know what? I'm going to try.
It's time to strike.
Actually, no. It's time to strike, and then it's time to pull back, because Hulkenberg's going to jump back. And because I'm losing this turn anyway, I may as well use a Corrosive Acid? Yeah, I'll use a Corrosive Acid. We'll hop back and use a... Yeah, I'll hit the max number of times with Wild Salvo anyway, so let's do that. Juna, jump back, and then, yeah, Stroll's next, so we should be fine. I can't afford to miss here, so I'm going to actually not even attack. And I'm going to go for the Shelter Formation. Although we're all in the back row anyway, but I mean, it's nice to have the defense buffs up. Okay, so what are you doing? And that's why I had Dekaja. And thankfully I'm not weak to that. So yeah, Griffons. In ancient Greek mythology, Griffons were considered to be warring with the Amiparsians, who were a group of human-like creatures that had one eye and rode horses.
It's okay.
Which then mutated in medieval times to Griffons just hating horses in general. something that actually was relevant in My Little Pony. My Little Pony Friendship's magic is seriously, like really accurate to a lot of mythology. It's kind of insane the amount of, like, mythological research they did for that show. Because, to give you an idea, they actually do reference the Amaparsian Griffon rivalry, except, and this is another thing that I like about the way they do mythology in My Little Pony. Sorry to be weirdly going about it. That was my hyperfixation for, like, my entire university years, so, you know, it makes sense for me to be still talking about it to this day. But yeah, the way that they handle the mythology in My Little Pony is that they make sure to keep everything accurate to there being no humans. So, for example, the centaur, Tyrek, his upper half is more bull-like than human-like, but how it worked with the Amaparsian references is that the Amaparsi that the Griffons were fighting is more based on a giant goat than a human-like Cyclops thing, but it still has one eye. But yeah, so Amaparsians in Greek mythology fought with Griffons over gold. Griffons kind of had that almost dragon-like tendency of hoarding gold. Yeah, that was part of their earlier mythology, which I think they also reference in My Little Pony. Talisman of the Avian, of course we get that, and also, holy crap, was that easier than when I did that on my before the Dragon Temple. So yeah, maybe I look a little too easy, but you know, better than me being like I was not in a good mood the day that I recorded that original thing. I was raging. And it was obviously also annoying the fact that I had to redo like 4 videos that I'd recorded in advance just because of that. And for some reason you had her monster notebook. I don't know why, but well, I mean, I was just saying, Griffons were hoarders in the original mythology. So yeah, Griffons often show up on the coat of arms of royal families. They're also commonly used as sports mascots. They're just a general representation of strength. Make sure you just want to explore more, because like all towers, there's an extra floor to this place that you don't get if you choose to head back immediately. In medieval times, sometimes the Christian church used Griffons as a symbol of Jesus because of the idea of the union between like the heavens and the earth. So Griffons are a very versatile mythological creature. They've been, like, I was surprised to find out how extensive they've been in human history. Oh, speaking of the heavens, Celestial Abacus. Okay, what does that do?
Now?
Strike magic +3. Did I find any archetype experience items? Yeah, you know what? This Brawler being that high without being max bothers me, because that's going to give Will more HP, and also it will let him get Pugilist, and then the other Leaf of Light goes to Eupha, but on Summoner. Because yeah, Pugilist will get me closer to using Power Thrust, which is a skill that I like using even up to the end of the game, because it might not be that strong. But being able to use your turn doing damage and debuffing defense is really nice. And it'll always work if the enemy isn't immune to Pierce, which is surprisingly rare-ish.
Good.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna shove those into Pugilist.
I found new power.
Oh no, it's the useless skill. One more level and I'll get an actually good skill out of that. So yes, once again, we're up here at the top. This reminds me of one of the towers in the Crossbow games and Trails. Up here at the top of the tower, and there seems to be nothing. But you might want to remember this for later, because this certainly looks similar to the other tower that we've been through. Okay, let's give you back the notebook, but there is still one more thing I have left to do in this dungeon. Well, these probably are the strongest monsters in this general area, besides some of the humans deep in the Dragon Temple, but let's just say if you went down there, you probably want to document a lot of things besides just monsters. Unfortunately, we are busy.
Hey,
Sorry, but we've got better things to do.
What more can I do?
Oh, my brother getting killed would be a rather undesirable outcome.
until next time.
Well, there actually isn't a next time, I'm pretty sure, because yeah, that's all that quest goes to. But now extortion. by using a mag location, I had enough for 2 extortion sessions, and the second one I actually killed it, so that would give me even more. There we go, that's a good amount of mag.
If I say so myself.
And with that, I think we are done here. So, let's head back to town.
Got it.
For what will be the last time in this arc. I think we'll have one more day of free time after this, but then, well, I'll just say we're going to be hijacked by plot for a while.
Quite.
Almost ready. Good to know.
Guess we're splitting up.
Oh, they didn't even discuss the Spire of Blind Faith quest. Anyway, see you all next time.